Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is a critique of the official royal wedding photos that were released and taken by photographer Alexei Lubomirsky. Now, he also took all of the photos for the engagement shots that everybody was talking about, and in the photo community, people were questioning because this guy doesn't shoot weddings. But I'm not here to rip on him as a photographer because he's extremely successful, lives in New York, does a ton of photo shoots for different magazines, and is well established in the celebrity and portrait world. But let's take a look at the photos in 1 second. But before I do that, if you haven't downloaded my Gear Vault, could you please do so? The kitty would like you to download it. It's free for iOS and Android. You could also get an insurance quote in case your stuff gets stolen. You want to have insurance. So let's get to the critique, all right, kitty? So here we go. Here is the first official portrait that was released. Now, this is a family portrait. We have the queen, we have the son, we have the brother, we have her mother. So we have this photo. Now, let me turn around here because that's the photo, but we don't know how much time Alexei had to take the photos. So we have to bear in mind that he may have had 23 seconds to make these photos work. They probably said, you have from 10:21 to 10:23 to take all of these photos. We don't know if that's the case. But with that being said, you cut the girl off on the left. I know this girl isn't looking down here in the bottom right, but you know, that's not really your fault if that's what the kid did and the kid wasn't going to pay attention. You got to get everybody looking. But this is not a great portrait. It's a portrait. It gets the job done, but look at all the repeating mirrors in there. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. But there's mirrors in the background. You've got look at this dress. Look at this green dress that the queen has on with that beautiful green hat and that nice purple thing on top. Come on, you know it comes across like a snapshot, but again, you don't know how much time the photographer had. In my opinion, this was a photo shoot for Annie Leibovitz. And I don't care that she was born here. She's done royal portraits before, and she would have had this taken with the best lighting possible, already preset, everything ready to go, get the people in. She would have pulled out the best image. Not so much the, hey, just sit here, smile, and take this photo. But what I will say is that you didn't take this photo. I didn't take this photo. Our photos aren't going down in history like this photo is going down in history. Most people looking at these images around the world are not sitting there going, wow, this is not a great portrait. It could have been done better. They're not saying that. People think, honestly, people aren't sure what a good photo is anymore because they're so used to seeing so much crap out there that they see this as being okay or better than okay. So look, it's an okay image. I don't know why everybody has to wear their hats, but I guarantee you they had about 23 seconds to take this photo. So that's the first photo that they released. Whatever, it goes down in history, so we got that. Next photo, and you're going to want to stick around to the last photo because I have a lot to say about that. This one is so awkward, it's not even funny. I don't understand all the headroom, to be honest with you. I don't understand this mirror. Like, maybe we could have blocked the mirror off or done something with it. But this is a snapshot, like, hey, lean in, say cheese. But look, you got a future king right here, hopefully, at some point. You've got all the kids here. You've got a princess somewhere. Is this the princess? I'm not really sure. I mean, they look beautiful, and they look really happy. There's nothing wrong with that. It captured the moment that they had, and he captured it. So I can't rip on it that much. I really can't. I mean, you can be straight up saying that, you know, there's some posting out there. Jason Rupp, I know, wrote an article for, I believe, Petapixel, and is talking about, like, I told you so. I couldn't read the article. It was way too long for my ADD. But, you know, yes, there may have been other better choices for wedding photographers. But in this case, this is who they chose. And that's who they're happy with. I have no problem with that. I don't care that this person's never taken wedding photos because it's not a traditional wedding anyway. It's not like they're running up and down the aisle getting the photos. I don't even know where they were during the wedding. And we haven't seen other photos from Alexei yet that are considered official and released. They released 3, at least at the time of doing this. This is a snapshot of this group and friends. It's the 2 of them. It's fine. It's not the greatest thing in the world. It's not the greatest thing in the world. It's really not the greatest thing in the world. But let's get to the next photo. This is the one that leaves me going, did you take this with an iPhone? Because, I mean, what's the one glaring thing in this image that's standing out that we might yell at? Do you guys know what the one thing is that I might yell at? Is it possibly her hand positioning? No, it's not her hand positioning. It's his hand positioning. He doesn't have a hand. Harry, where'd your hand go? Whose hand are you holding off to the side? What is going on in this image? How's this look? Does this look good? That is absolutely atrociously terrible to be posting an image like this. And I read some of the comments from Alexi's people that commented, "This is such a beautiful portrait. This is so amazing." And then there's I'm a photographer or a new photographer, and I'm curious, why would you cut his hand off? Yes, it creates tension and awkwardness, the way that he's leaning out of the frame like this, and you cut his wrist off. I don't understand the thinking behind that. You are a portrait photographer. Alexi, I'm not going to talk to you directly because I don't personally know you, but you do great stuff. You get great jobs. I just don't understand the thinking behind this, and I would love to know, why was this released cutting his hand off? I mean, the composition is just atrocious. He's leaning out that way. Who's she looking at? She must be looking at the kid's hand that is holding Harry's hand. Like, is Harry's hand touching somebody else who's sitting next to him? We don't know. Harry looks really happy and funny. She looks really happy and laughing. You've got the rings, you got the flowers. That stuff's fine, but I don't understand her looking off camera, not at him. They're laughing about something. Again, maybe he had 3 seconds and got 3 pictures and snapped them off and his hand was over there because that's what he ended up doing. Because I don't know what other composition you could get in the defense of Alexi if this is where Harry's going to sit his hand. I guess you could have come in and maybe like done something like this, but now you're cropping off his shoulder. I don't know why his hand isn't right here on her shoulder or just like on her hand or resting right next to him. And it needs more contrast in his face. It's just super flat. I mean, she looks great. They look happy. That's wonderful and all. But the fact that you cut the hand off, I can't forgive cutting the hand off. That's the "are you kidding me" moment right there, is cutting the hand off. I would have loved to have seen Annie Leibovitz or Platon, take portraits of these guys, because they may get 30 seconds to take a portrait and they would crush that portrait. Not like a fashion shoot with snapshots and random things. I'm not saying I would have done a better job. I'm saying that I would have loved to have seen what an Annie Leibovitz would have done, or a Platon would have done, because their portraits are incredible and they know how to do these stressful situations. They would have gotten stuff that I think would have been more awe-inspiring and less snapshotty. Again, in the defense of the photographer, I can't tell you that he didn't have 33 seconds to take all of the photos officially that he got to take. But I would have liked to have seen something better out of the royal photos. And again, I'll never take a royal photo, probably. I'll never be a royal. Probably never take a royal photo. Probably never take anything as famous as these type of photos, and most likely most of you will never do the same thing. So I can't sit here and say that they suck. I can just sit here and say, how do you cut his wrist off? And I think that most of them are just snapshots that were set up, and they're okay, and they are what they are. That's my critique of this. What are your critiques of these photos? Leave them down below, because I'm sure you have a lot to say. If you want to check out another video, go ahead and click up on the screen right now. If you haven't downloaded my gear vault, I'm about to release my vault and gear as a giveaway. There's $5,000 in prizes. I'll have more information on that soon, but get started by downloading it for free. You'll get entered. And that's going to be it, guys. Jared, PolinFronosPhoto.com. See ya.